Welcome back to Blaster Master. Oh, look, cute anime girl. It's ours now.
What
I
is
mean,
a
what?
person doing here?
Nope, it's an anime girl.
Yeah,
Totally different.
anime aren't people. They don't have rights.
Although, in the sequel, when we meet other people with other tanks, apparently this is just a thing that whoever made the tanks did. And every futuristic battle tank to fight the mutants comes with your own hot anime waifu or husbando.
Oh, it's that kind of thing.
Yeah, they're like supplier helper droid things.
Yeah, it's like, what if C-3PO were hot, and then we have this guy's specific fetish?
Okay.
You are now thinking about C-3PO wearing a bikini. Like, the same exact thing. Like, he's still a metal robot droid, but there's just the Slave Leia bikini over it. There you go. Ha, I ruined your 13-year-old fantasy, internet. You're welcome.
Huh.
So yeah, so she just basically explains everything to you. She's your Omo Chow, pretty much.
Yeah.
Eve,
Because
that's her name.
otherwise Jason would never figure out anything on his own because there's no one there to tell him.
Yeah, whoever had this tank before him didn't leave behind the instruction manual. So, he spent like an hour trying to get it out of park before the game even started.
Yeah, it's a so yeah. What you didn't see was like the 2 hours of him trying to learn a stick.
It's that thing that video games do where they want to have a silent and/or generic protagonist so that you can project yourself onto the character, but then they realize that if your character is silent the whole time, you'll never get a feel for their motivation, so they throw in a talky sidekick to talk at you the whole time. Looking at you, Dexter.
Yeah, so I mean, what could be more relatable than trying to find your pet frog, though? I mean, that's a motivation that has spurned children throughout the
See,
ages.
I thought you were about to say, like, trying to rescue your girlfriend, because I've heard that line so many times. And my usual thought is I can think of about a dozen things that are more relatable to that. But
It,
Yeah,
you
I,
said
because I
pet
don't have a
frog,
girlfriend.
and then you said pet frog, and that's like, okay, you just threw me off my game there. I got no smart response. uh,
I mean, doesn't everybody's pet frog get kidnapped by mafia thugs all the time? Put into castles 8 worlds away, guarded by turtle demons? Uh, Put into capsules where they're turned into robot. Wait, frogs were actually used for that shit. Okay.
uh,
Ouch.
well, Princess Peach is called Princess Toadstool in Japan.
He's
So,
Super
not
Mario
wrong.
Brothers 2 is actually about finding your pet frog Wart and then making him eat his vegetables before you go to bed.
No,
Prove
frogs
me
don't eat
wrong,
vegetables.
Internet.
They eat crickets.
Cricket vegetables?
Vegetables shaped like crickets.
Seriously, don't feed your carnivorous pets a vegan diet. It's not good for them.
No.
Yeah. So anyway, do we get any up? I don't remember if we get any upgrades when we save Eve, or if we just get Eve.
Eve is the upgrade. We went from being single to taken. That's the biggest upgrade you can ever think of.
Yeah, but they don't ever. I haven't beaten 2, so I don't know if they do more with this in 2. But they don't ever like imply anything like that. It's just like they make googly eyes at each other once in
Yeah,
chaste anime romance.
yeah.
How it
They
is.
they imply it more, but nothing ever comes of it.
Yeah, because God forbid characters like actually have romantic feelings in anime. Or act on them is more accurate.
The
Like-
thing that the thing that bugs me a lot about anime romance, and it's like, okay, you really fixated on just having this really cute thing in your anime, not even a cute person, a cute thing shaped like a person, to the point where you don't really write and flesh it out, and you just want to have this kawaii desu thing that your nerds can get googly eyed over. But if you give
I
it
feel
too much personality, you're narrowing down the appeal. So you give it no personality, and that's why skin shipping
Oh,
exists.
Oh, Chobits.
Yeah, I feel like there's also a big fear for a lot of things, anime or otherwise, where they don't think that they'll be able to. They don't know what they'll do if they actually do get the characters into a relationship. Because
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people.
Or if you do give them a relationship, then that ruins all the other shipping for other fans of other pairings.
That's
Yeah.
not necessarily only an anime thing, although it is super
Oh, yeah,
pronounced
no.
in anime.
Yeah, no, it's in lots of stuff. Fantasy.
A
video
lot of
games.
writers don't really know what to do once their characters are in a committed relationship, which is a shame because like you can write some really good stories about that. Mercy
Well,
Thompson is actually really good at it, but
That's why they had to write Mary Jane out of Peter's life.
well, yeah, and
God,
it's like,
I hate that. God.
you know, it's like in Sword Art Online, Reki Kawahara doesn't know how to do committed relationships, so once
No, Kirito and Asuna are just a thing. And
yeah,
nothing ever
once
comes
Kirito and
more than
Asuna are
that.
together, he does that thing that light novel authors do, where we have nothing left to do with this heroine, so we're gonna make another heroine, and she's going to be the deuteragonist of this new story. So yeah, instead of continuing to develop the good character they already have, or in Reki Kawahara's case, try not to ruin the bad character that he somehow managed to stumble into making good later on. We just make a bajillion other characters, and every story needs to have a new girl. Like it's a Bond girl, except the character is actually narratively attached to this other girl, so it feels more skeevy.
What?
Well,
yeah.
Well, Bond girls are Bond girls because James Bond is an asshole.
Yeah.
But in Kirito's case, it's like he's always teetering on the brink of falling into having another girlfriend, but it never happens.
Why is it always these lame ass, wishy washy, mediocre looking anime boys who end up with, like,
because that's their
six
entire
girlfriends?
because that's their clientele.
Yeah,
I know, but it feels so much like pandering because it's just like, this is me. Women do not line up to want to sleep with me like this. And if anime was anything like real life, that should be happening. So I feel offended that they're trying to present this clearly fake world to me. Like, I mean, granted, there's suspension of disbelief. I can get behind hacking yourself into a video game and giant demons and huge metal buster swords, but, you know, implying that I'll be able to get a girlfriend is just going too far. All right, I know what's real.
Not just a girlfriend, but multiple really attractive girlfriends.
Yeah,
It's part of it plays into Japan's culture, though.
Oh yeah.
I don't mean that. I don't mean that in the sense that like there's something culturally different about the way they see men and women, although that might be part of it. What I mean is more,
Yes.
the fake girlfriends thing is kind of a substitute in its way for a lot of people. Like, they get so fixated on their waifu, whether it's an anime character or a pop idol or whatever, that they use that as an excuse to not really think about dating much.
Yeah, partially that also comes from the fact that Japan's work life and
Yeah.
all that other subculture is so ridiculously
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
Literally no one has the time to date.
Yeah, and when you say what I just said out of context, like I just did, it sounds way more pitiful than it is. But yeah, it is kind of a substitute for not having time for it too. It varies from person to person, but it's more of a thing in Japan than it would be here.
Well, I
Plenty
mean,
of
it
people
depends
here who
on
do
what. It
too,
depends
but-
because sometimes when I look at my Twitter, I feel like some people actually are dating their Fire Emblem waifus. And I don't.
Bernie for Laifu.
Oh, we're doing political waifus now. Okay, I didn't think we got to that point.
No. Bernadetta from Fire Emblem.
Okay, well now I'm just
everyone
imagining
yeah.
presidential candidates as anime girls, and you can't stop me.
You're not the first
there
one
you
to
go.
have made that joke, but you know,
If Bernie Sanders was smart, he would use that to his advantage.
Turn himself into an anime girl.
No, use her for promotion.
now, like when Bernie does something like particularly badass in her capacity as a bow knight or something, someone will actually quote Bernie Sanders' "Feel the Burn" line, but you know. Fire Emblem Three Houses is the most political game in the series, so it fits.
I mean, he's not. I mean, he's technically not wrong.
I mean, all the games are pretty political in that they're about
I know what
politics, but
I
they're
know what
the
you
most...
mean. There's political elements in most of the Fire Emblems, but Three Houses, if you don't count the terrible writing in Fates, Three Houses is the first one to really make you think or try to make you think about like your own political worldviews and how they relate to what's happening in the story to make you choose things based on that.
Yeah, because in most Fire Emblem games, there's just kind of the evil king or empire or whatever you have to go to defeat to bring the continent or whatever to peace, and that's kind of it.
And Fates is just kind of like, okay, do you want to be with the asshole country or do you want to be with the noble
And the asshole kingdom.
the the noble Japan country?
Man, like... Fire Emblem Fates frustrates me because there are some good story ideas at certain points and certain story beats that I think are effective, but the thing as a whole is frustrating to me. And what's frustrating to me the most is that people, when the game was newer, talked about how Conquest was the worst one. And I mean, granted, yes, there's a lot of stuff in Conquest that doesn't really make sense, but it's also the only one that tries to have anything resembling an emotionally effective story. So to me, I'd rather have an emotionally effective story that has plot holes than one that,
Than a
'cause,
really
this...
solidly written piece of shit.
Yeah. Well, it's not even really solidly written. It's just like, okay, Jack and Jill went up the hill to get a pail of water is like doesn't have any plot holes in it, but that doesn't make it an interesting and well-developed story. It just meant that they went up the hill and got a pail of water, and that's it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. A lot of the good ideas from Fates wind up brought back in Three Houses to really.
That's kind of what I've heard it explained as Fates but good.
Yeah. Fates but good is one very simple way to describe it. The other thing though is that we don't have a Revelations path yet. So
I feel like they. Oh wait, they were doing DLC for it.
They are doing DLC, and there's some speculation, and I'm one of the people speculating that the extra story content that's coming out like February next year or something might be like the golden path that has everybody have a happy ending. But I'm not really sure how you would do that in Three Houses because the key branch off point is which house you choose to teach at the beginning. And it's not like you're in a situation where Corrin can just say, you know what? I'm not going to side with either of you, and then they both decide to be assholes and read that as you betraying both of them. Like, as if they suddenly can't understand the plain English you're speaking at their faces from 2 feet away, and then suddenly everyone jumps 2 miles away and you're at the opposite ends of a battlefield fighting opposite armies. Weren't you two just like right in front of each other about to fight each other with your weapons, and now we're fighting with armies? How did that happen? I'm sorry, Revelations bothers me. I mean, you were physically 2 feet away from each other brandishing weapons, and now you're on opposite ends of a field and I have to kill both your armies. Okay. Yeah, sure.
Oops.
Why not?
I like how this boss is just called Obliteration Laser.
Well, that's what I'm gonna do to it with my laser.
Obliteration.
Oh my god.
This thing is ridiculously easy.
You could do this with the standard laser.
Yeah, well, all you have to do is just not destroy all the blocks and you're good.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good practice for beating that Metal Gear Solid torture minigame.
This whole game is that, really, when you think about it.
Oh, now you have to go up. Ooh, scary.
Isn't that true for a lot of
Spooky.
2D and or top-down shooters?
Yeah, kinda.
Like, I know that there's a lot of people who enjoy these kind of like bullet hellsy kind of games, but like I've never found them interesting.
I like this one a little bit more, again, because exploring the environment has more depth to it, but stuff like Gradius I've never really gotten into. And the only kind of games like that I have really gotten into were stuff like Metal Slug, where the experience is so short that it's really just kind of a flash sort of thing, where it's just like, wow, that was really cool, and it's done after like a half an hour
Yeah.
So the lack of depth you don't really mind because it's not that kind of game you play for.
Yeah.
You know.
It's not sticking around for too long, so it doesn't necessarily wear out its welcome.
Yeah.
That conveyor belt mechanic makes me laugh. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Oh,
funny.
it's dark. Oh my god.
Oh, use a flash bomb. Okay, I'm good.
I didn't know that the flash bombs lit up the entire room when I
It
first
does,
played
yeah.
this, so I skipped this and then had to backtrack all the way back in order to get
Ouch.
through.
Does the flash bomb wear off?
No, it's HMO5 in a bomb.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that makes no sense.
I don't
but whatever.
I don't get it either. Don't
Don't think about it too hard.
Yeah. Because I mean, I always had the same thought. Because in Pokemon, it's just okay, it flashed, so it's kind of like you just turned your flashlight on and off. That shouldn't increase your
Work.
visibility.
Well,
for too
in
long.
some, it's a slightly archaic way of saying it, but sometimes a flashlight is referred to as just a flash.
So actually, I hate the British saying of calling them a torch. Really confused me when I was playing
Yeah, it's
Phoenix
not,
Wright
it's,
Cross Ace Attorney, because in that there's a case early on where they're talking about flashlight, and so all these British, it takes place in England, so all these people are talking about a torch, and I'm like, this is taking place in a warehouse. This murder. Why are they carrying around like a
Torches.
torch? And I'm thinking they're holding like a torch and pitchfork.
a stick of wood on
with
fire.
wood-
My
with
my
fire
first
on it.
encounter with that, fortunately for me, was in a Nancy Drew game where you're actually playing as an American in Britain. So there's one
So they
point
have
where
to
you
explain it.
Yeah, you have to explore these dark secret passages in the mansion, and the first thing you got to do is ask for a flashlight, and they're all like, "Ha, Nancy, you're silly. It's called a torch over here." I'm like, okay, yeah. I
Whatever.
just had to deal with the guy on the phone talking Cockney slang for ordering my meal. Now I got to deal with calling flashlights torches. Can you guys just stop and respect my Americanness?
No.
I mean, we had a whole war about them not being able to do that. So
I mean, I
don't-
shouldn't have to figure out that, Uncle Fred and Johnny Rudder is slang for bread and butter just to order some fucking bread and butter, okay?
Wait, what?
Yeah, Cockney slang
And I
is
thought them
weird.
calling fries chips was weird.
Cockney
Okay.
slang is not just, a British thing, it's a very specific dialect thing. And their slang was, thought up as code words so that they could say things without other people listening in knowing what they're talking about. So it mostly has to do with rhyming. So Uncle Fred and Johnny Rudder is bread and butter. Yes.
Okay, well, what frickin' delicious ass bread do you have to be eating in order to keep that secret from the cops? It's
I
just
don't know.
Oi, mate, I had a really good Jake yesterday. It's just like, what? You ate a person? No, I was talking about my birthday cake. Cops, no, I'm in the dungeon now. So I don't. Silly Britain. All right, this is why.
No,
Honestly,
it's like
you know what?
the-
I feel like Americans and Britons just aren't allowed. Or
The Cockney
British people, I
slang was
guess.
actually so weird that the other people in the house thought it was weird. So, yeah,
Well, okay then.
it was fun though. That game. I need to actually finish it.
That's good at least.
It was one of those point and click ones on PC, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like Myst style, only more talky.
Yeah, and it was the one where Rouge the Bat is Nancy Drew's voice, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to listen to them and recognize them as the same voice actress.
I definitely can, because she doesn't really change her voice all that much. It's the same. She basically uses the same voice for both. It's just different dialogue, pretty much. So it's just you can, if you listen to it clearly enough, you can very tell it's
Yeah, it's just
or
like,
however you
the
pronounce
Nancy
it.
Drew games are games for all ages, so the actress puts on a tone of voice that makes it really sound half the time like she's talking down to a little kid. It kind of annoys me.
Yeah, I I get exactly what you're talking about. because she's just like, oh, gee, that's what this thing is, and it's like
It's especially pronounced in the tutorial. She starts to sound a little more natural once the story starts, but you know.
yeah, but it a lot of it comes across as like
Condescending, yeah.
Nick Jr. like, where did Swiper take it?
Yeah.
Over there?
There? Over there.
A clue. Something on my shoe. Nancy, how are you a detective, Nancy? It's just like this is basic shit.